Так, привет всем. Пора продолжить играть в Fallout 4. Смотрю, надо спать.
Treat your power armor well, and it can get you through anything.
Elder Maxon said you'd help me build the signal interceptor.
So, looks like you're calling the shots around here now, huh? All right, I'll bite. What does your new miracle device do?
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. This machine can hijack their signal and send me instead.
Teleportation? Molecular transmission via encrypted RF waves? Okay, even I have to admit, that's genius. This explains why we've been picking up anomalous energy readings all across the Commonwealth. Not to mention how they get their tin soldiers to come out of the damn walls. And this little beauty allows you to literally hijack a return signal. Instead of grabbing the intended target, it grabs you instead. Impressive.
Well, you definitely know your stuff.
Damn right I do. It's difficult to make out all the details here, but I'm thinking you
Пора
can get
уже
started by
делать.
building a stabilized reflector platform. It's gonna take a cargo hold full of high-grade metal, but I'm sure that we have plenty of it right here at the airport.
I'm glad you can make sense of those plans.
I haven't made sense of all of it yet, but I will by the time you get the first part built. Here's a list of everything you need to find. You're also going to need a massive power source to get the signal interceptor running.
Хорошо. Я ничего не понял. Ну, давайте посмотрим, что надо делать. Построить платформу отражатель. Хорошо. Да, сюда надо. Только мне нужно поспать. Так что, сори, ребята, но я буду спать в другой раз. Така. Особняк с 7 крупов, кажется, есть побольше людей. Пойдем и пошлем одного в бостонский аэропорт, чтобы я могу туда все, что нужно сделать.
Uneasy.
Это хорошо, Кюри. Ты все-таки моя любимая девушка. Так, давайте выспимся первого. И потом надо это поселение проверим, немножко переделаем и пошлем один. Придется, к сожалению.
Bye.
Оденься, ну прошу тебя. Так, у меня есть что-то, что я могу тебе дам. Мученическая. Но это я никогда не буду пользоваться. Кавалерская. Ну я это точно не буду. И это точно не буду пользоваться. Так, что могу, отдам тебя. Пока. Салвич с 13. Ага. Постойте, я Salvage Site 13 это помню. Liquidate Decayed реактор сайт помню. Relay ОБ помню. А этого нет, что ли? Так. Стойте. А я нашел, стойте, я нашел еще церковь. Ну, короче, этот мод не стоит. Его надо удалить. Ага. Бостонский аэропорт, да. Так, тут люди есть. Так. Так, тут... Настроено на радио Diamond City. Ой, не надо бы его Diamond City. Как говорят, ошибка. Радио классика. Ну хорошо, Diamond City уберем. Скажем, сюда. И тут поставим классика. А то, когда услышат и будут найти от YouTube, что ты вот юзаешь неправильная музыка. Да пошли вы все на 3 буквы в лес. С эти ваши тупые правила. Так. Ого. Вау, смотрите, как красиво получилось. Уха. Это реально красотище. Опс. Как говорят, ошибка. Так. Сейчас нужно этих двух вещей использовать. Так, F2. Так. И даже такая. Сейчас нужно использовать это. Почему-то это дает счастье. Потом... Так, не нравится. Тут должны быть еще девушки, не только это. Так, стрелок новобранец. А, кстати, уже есть связь? Есть связь, хорошо. Хоть, как говорится, ошибка.
You gotta try the slot machine. It's the best.
Так, и у тебя нет работы, да?
I just can't lose.
Стойте. Так. Вот это другое дело. Хорошо. Все, что было нужно, мы сделали. В бостонский аэропорт сможем ли послать людей? Это мне интересно. И особенно этого посадить хоть что-то. Ну, сейчас я не буду, но принципный вопрос такой и есть у меня. Но этот мод на колонизацию этого надо удалить. Там половина не видно, другая половина глючит. Такая. Как говорится, другое дело. Я выпью водичка в реальном мире. Эти скары можно убрать. Скара. На болгарский это называется скара. Так. Ебать, сколько тут говна. Да.
Clouds approaching.
Как я уже сказал, тут это все будет долго чистить. Хотя, если... Вот, тю-тю-тю-тю-тю-тю-тю. Надо осторожненько, а то удалю весь терминал. Ну вот все. Думают, что это уже удалять, не удалять. Это уже бессмысленно. Так. Так, стек для роботов особая. Стабилизированная платформа отражатель. Стойте, это надо еще удалить. И тут есть для удаления почки, скара. Ну все. Есть что это все. Я могу еще много построить. Еще 24 такие.
Any luck building the platform yet?
Yes, I'm ready to build the rest of it.
Good. Let's move on then. Here's a list of everything we'll need. Now, I know some of that might as well be in Greek, so I'll be around if you have any questions.
Looks good, Ingram. I'll get to work right away.
I wish I had your confidence. Oh,
Sun
one
will
last thing
set
before I forget.
shortly.
It's important that all the components are wired together so all the pieces are on a single grid. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. If you need any help, I'll be over at the build site making some adjustments and calculations. I'd wish you good luck, Knight, but I think we're both going to need it.
Хорошо. И, кстати, надо Кюри придумать какое-нибудь крутое оружие. Так. Это лепится сюда. Это поставим сюда. Это поставим сюда. Двадцать пять. 20. 25, 27. Давайте поступим по-плохому. Вот отсюда возьмем что-то с 27. 4, 4, 2, 6, 10, 10, 10, 10, 3. 27 сказали. Вот 30. Или, значит, вот это, которое производит 30, или вот это, которое производит 60. Давайте 60, нету смысла. Пошлем все нафиг. Как говорится.
Max is waiting to talk to you, and I'm not throwing the switch until he gives us the go-ahead.
Хорошо. Он идет. Ну, пусть придет. Ей, зрешта это... Ага, ага.
Remarkable work, Knight. The signal
Да,
interceptor appears to be
осталось.
complete. Are you ready to put it to the test?
Разумеется.
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Your confidence is an inspiration to us all. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
Nothing's gonna stop me when I'm so close to the answers I'm looking for.
Eager to get inside, huh? Good. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact. So it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10
Sure.
years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted
Упустили
mind
её.
in the field of nuclear
Дураки.
engineering.
That's fortunate.
Yes, it was. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
Интересно, как успела.
I'm surprised that the Brotherhood let her go.
Had I been in command, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. She was a valuable asset. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a
Хорошо.
special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
Не
Consider it
надо
done,
спрашивать.
Very good.
Мне не до этого
Very
сейчас.
good. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission. And don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
От Виктория.
I've checked and rechecked everything. Signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Так, секунду, сохранюсь, и то бог знает, что произойдет.
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform, and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto.
А я
Place
где?
dialed in. Beam emitters warmed
Пока,
up.
Кюри.
Everything
Жаль
looks green.
тебя.
Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape
Сейчас ли
that'll scan their
нашла
network and download
сказать?
anything it
Это
finds. If you
последняя
place it in any
секунда.
terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
Нет. Вот так другое дело.
Hello.
Гранатой... Все есть гранатой. Надо бы его все это оставить. Да, лучше возьмем сразу разделяющиеся гранаты.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
Что, боя не будет?
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This
Эй,
is the
забыл.
reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's
Идиоты,
survival.
боретесь, убиваете
Decades
людей.
of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy. And our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground.
Ага, неправильно, все
Someday,
правильно.
perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Это да.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Это не может быть мой Шон.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on?
Это не
What's
может
happening?
быть. Он слишком большой. Я ищу грудной ребенок, а не 10-летний пацан.
We're leaving this
Пойдем
place
отсюда.
together. Okay,
What's
Sean?
going on? Father? Father!
Shh, shh. It'll be okay, Sean. I'm here
I
now.
don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing.
Да.
The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
Just... help me understand what's going on here.
I promised
Отвечай,
answers.
идиот.
And answers you shall
Хватит
have.
уже
But I need you to realize
Мямкать.
that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been... It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
глупости.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
I assure you, I am completely sane and entirely honest. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old
Это
boy.
неправда, я никогда не думал,
You
что он
believe
10-летний
that 10
мальчик. Я
years
всегда
had
думал,
passed.
что
Is
это
it really so
детство.
hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
It
Они
wasn't
реально
right
отняли у
what they
человека ребенка.
taking you
Это
from me like that.
идиотизм.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you.
In a manner of speaking.
В каком некотором смысле?
The
В
Institute
полном
endeavored to
смысле.
create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault
Да, я
111,
поверил, что ты был единственный.
frozen in
Реально
time,
поверил.
protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had
Короче, они
crept
украли
into
моего
every other
сына.
human
Я
cell
должен
in the
за это
Commonwealth.
их уважать.
I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
60 years. So much time. Wasted.
I know.
I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course.
Какой инцидент это
It
было
seems her
убийство?
death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my
Сирота.
situation,
Реально ты был сирота.
and that was that.
При этих
With old
идиотов.
age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Идиот.
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The
Верю.
Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future.
Ага, поверил
No
тебе,
matter
да?
what those above ground
Зато
might think of
убивайте
us.
людей наверху.
It doesn't matter what they
Но
think.
буду все равно хороший.
What matters is what you do.
I'm glad we see it the same way. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
Он убийца, он реально убийца.
He was a
Он был
murderer.
идиот.
He killed your mother.
Believe me, I am well aware of the atrocities Kellogg committed. I suspect there are many more we'll never know of. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective.
И никто не
I won't
заметил,
lie.
что этот человек
It's no
жил
coincidence your path
практически
crossed his.
бескрайно. Но
It
притом
seemed a
за
fitting way
него
to
все
allow
знает
you, us,
Валентайн.
to have some
Очень
amount of
умно,
revenge.
очень.
I know there's more for us to discuss, but the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Ну, скажут, что я
Yes,
хочу,
that's
чтобы
what I
можно
want.
продолжить.
I know.
А иначе бы я его послал бы
I know you've
на
been through
три
so
буквы.
much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment. Forgive me. I'd assumed that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us. There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures.
I'll do whatever it takes. It's worth it.
I am glad to hear that. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in advanced systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then
Когда
we'll
успели
discuss
их
what comes
предупредить,
next.
когда я вот познакомился с тебя 2 минуты назад. Вообще. Интересно, есть радио, но не работает. Так, сохранимся после этой долгая речь.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
He's definitely impressive.
Yes, it's pushed our technology to the limit. We've gained some valuable insights in terms of both hardware and software. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Это просто рисунка. Так. Давайте посмотрим, что нам нужно сделать. Вылазка. Вставить голографическую запись. Вот это я не сделал. Надо найти где-то... Ага. Сейчас быстренько взломаем и ставлю вот что нужно. По доброй старой традиции. Точно одного выбрал и сразу его удаляет. Оп. Атака. Так, думаю, что вот
I'm in.
Геолог Конрад. Личные записи отключения синтов. Загрузить Go кассета. Ага, вирус. Без этого никак. Отдать голографическую Проктора Инграм. Это мне нужно, чтобы этого... Чтобы потом разобрался с... Как бы его слово... с этот парень. О, постойте.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks again.
Of course. We're all looking forward to working with you.
Да, вы меня не знаете, видите
It's
первый
my
раз.
responsibility to make sure this place runs smoothly.
Так, стой.
Excuse me, doctor.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right.
Да, ну нехорошо
I'm Allie.
общаться со
Allie
мной.
Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it.
Когда
You've been
успел?
through so much. I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
Ну, будем
Absolutely.
хорошими.
Good to hear. It'll be a load off Sean's mind. Take your time. Get yourself acquainted. There's a lot to take in. Plenty of things you won't find topside. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities division, I'm happy to discuss it.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Так, закончим с тебя по-быстренькому. Так, разыскать доктор Ли. Так, мне нужен магазин.
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
Let's see what you've got.
Давайте увидим, есть ли у него что-нибудь интересное. Перезарядки на 15%. Хорошая идея. И не двигайтесь. Оди восстанавливается быстрее. Это нормально. Ну, это на самом-то деле хватает с избытком. Давайте продадим всякие всячина, чтобы этого с одной стороны разгрузился, а с другой, чтобы Хорошо. У меня лишняя вода, к сожалению, нет. Давайте и это виски продадим. Оно мне сейчас не нужно. Ну, на этой, можно сказать, закончили. Ничего другого. Филерат паука, стейки светящееся мясо. Да, это можно продать. Ну вот и хватит. Так, у меня есть уже и очень крутое плазменное оружие.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Well,
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock
Everyone's
some heads
excited
together.
about the new synth project.
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me.
You're here. Glad you made it.
There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment for you, but try to remember that synths aren't people.
Coursers on the hunt are relentless. If you see one, you should stay out of its way.
Я такого...
Doc. So, here you are. Justin Ao, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
Oh, it's nothing personal. I don't trust anyone. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
Элементарно.
I hate to break it to you, but your Courser wasn't all that tough.
Then it's likely the unit was defective. It's rare, but faults can occur from time to time. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'm good for now, thanks.
Very well.
Так, с тобой увиделись. Ага.
Greetings, sir.
Так, секундочка. Так. Ага. Встретиться с руководителями отделения. Где следующий? Ага.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. And what is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
To security.
Dr. Lee.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
Ага. Стой, ма!
Actually, I was looking for you.
Me? Why?
I've been sent by the Brotherhood of Steel to find you.
You don't beat around the bush, I'll give you that. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
I'm only here with good intentions. You have my word.
You're giving me your word, even though we just met? Fine. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Наверное, это провалится. Ну, давайте
Are you
попробуем.
happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs my help. Why? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
He trusts you because you're family. I'm not. I can't just take your word for it. I need more than that.
The Brotherhood has always been straight with you.
I am getting a bit tired of all the secrets around here. Sometimes I feel like Father isn't being straight with me. Like there are things I'm not supposed to know about. I don't like that. But still, how can I turn my back on all of this?
Your work could be instrumental in freeing the Commonwealth.
You really know how to push my buttons, don't you? You know, I never understood why the Institute was so damn selfish. All those innocent people up there, dying. And here I am surrounded by technology that could make their lives better. Yet we hide down here and insulate ourselves from everything and everyone. It's not right. It's not right. I'll make my way back to the Brotherhood. But I'm going to have to do it on my own. I can't take any chances being seen with you. Tell whoever sent you that they've just regained the services of Dr. Madison Lee. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us. Now, I need to get back to work, and I'm sure you have other things to do.
Хорошо. Добавили, не добавили этот чип.
It's really exciting having you here. I can't wait to see what you can do. Sleep is such a waste of time. I'd rather be designing more efficient plasma emitters.
Это релейная граната института, которая подняла этот что за чудо-юдо. Давайте посмотрим, стало интересно. Это как?
Rosalind is smart. Oh, I just wish I could get her to notice me.
Это последний, с которой надо мне встретиться.
Liam's been trying to teach me robotics. It's more complicated than I thought.
Time to examine my latest reports on batch 274.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. And those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right.
Так.
Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops.
Разве?
Doctor. Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
I look forward to learning more about it.
In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. As the name
Рассказывай,
implies,
рассказывай.
the Bioscience Division specializes in fields
Вы же
of studies
создаете
such as
синтез, да?
botany, genetics, and medicine.
Такие
Our
как
most
Curie.
important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm not sure how well I'll fit in, but I'd like to give it a try.
Great. I was hoping you'd say that. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Ага.
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that.
Така, поговорите с отца. Постойте, мне надо найти этого, я помню. Терминал у входа в лабораторию ВРЭ. Сейчас зайдем. То, что она особенно сложно, меня не пугает вообще. От слова совсем. Один, два, три, четыре.
There we go.
Така. Лаборатория ВРЭ закрыта в связи с потенциальной. Отключить лазерную сетку. Вот. Так, где можно найти для Вирджила... Ага. Вот все. И включим обратно сетку. Все. Я готов. Уже можно идти к этому. Так, стойте.
Good to see you.
Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
Я не очень, но что поделать. Так, где Фадер, который хочет поговорить со мной? Да, наверху. Хорошо. Не понял.
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
You've got technology here that I never dreamed possible. It's amazing.
I'm glad you can appreciate what we've
Это и правда,
accomplished.
что у них
None of it has been easy. Ultimately, all our
Технологии.
knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind, redefine. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
видели.
If the synths are intelligent and self-aware, then they have a right to free will.
However closely they may approximate human behavior, they are still our creations. When you see what I have to show you, I think you'll agree that we know what is best for our synths. A rogue synth has taken over the raider gang at Libertalia.
Я
His
уже там
memories have
был.
been erased, and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
Ну, раз он такой
We'll
плохой.
bring that synth home.
That would be best for everyone. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
Вот, стойте. Эм. А радио-то не работает. И где этот синт, с которой мне надо встретиться? Ага. А, заработал радио, что ли?
Busted.
Так, давайте попробуем телепортнемся. Ну, чисто теоретически и сейчас можно закончить институт. Можно пойти там за либерталию выполнить. Но на самом-то деле с этого можно закончить институт. Я не люблю завершать игру до конца, так как не хочется, чтобы убивал институт. Так. Увидим, что он скажет, как я ему расскажу про все это. А, кстати, вот и Кюри.
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
I've convinced her that the Institute is the enemy, not the Brotherhood.
Well done, Knight. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Pridwin. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade, and we can't afford to take any chances. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed.
О, да, детка, да, наконец-то прокнула. Так. 120. Даже, знаете, что я вам скажу? Мне надоело так, что я себя напишу 145. Power. Set level. 145. Считаю, что я этого заслужил. $240. Ну хотя бы уже больше не буду. При малейшего проблемы буду подать. Угу. Пойдем вручим.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
For all we know, that thing could be a recipe for Deathclaw surprise.
Well, it's the best we could do with such short notice. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, I've got a new assignment for you. So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
He didn't tell me anything.
Makes sense. We've been trying to keep it under wraps until the time was right. Come on. It's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Pridwin might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime.
The Brotherhood used it in the capital wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
Huh. I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
There's got to be a way to solve that.
I do all the maintenance on the Prydwen, so you'd think it'd be a snap. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return to the Brotherhood. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason. If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
Поговорить с доктор Ли. Ну, пошли говорить с доктором Ли. Так, стойте, не сюда. И где доктор Ли?
Heard you got a new assignment.
Yeah, research for sure.
Ага, она на Придвен, что ли? Да, уже пора заканчивать. Точно уже пора заканчивать.
Attention. Halbert pilot to station Epsilon. Halbert pilot report to station Epsilon. That is all.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee?
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
You promised you'd help us.
You're right, I did. But you neglected to mention that I'd be asked to work on Liberty Prime. I've been down this road with the Brotherhood before. Why would I make the same mistake twice?
Because we care what happens to the Commonwealth.
Many lives are at stake, Dr. Lee.
You know, if anyone else wearing a Brotherhood of Steel uniform said something like that, I'd laugh in their face. But coming from you, it sounds like you actually mean it. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
О да. О да. Кюри это понравилось. Ну, очень интересно, что Кюри, хотя и Синт нравится, братство стали. Ну, мы почти уже закончили. Только остался этот, как бы его слово. И это дает как поселение, что неправильно.
Proctor.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues.
Ну, хотя знает своя
but
цена,
dealt with
девушка.
worse.
Женщина.
Besides, Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that. In fact, since things are going so well, we're gonna have you start building his electromagnetic actuators.
Хорошо.
Sure. Anything you need.
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into action, and I bet you don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move.
Абсолютно не
Prime's new
имею
limbs are way
представления.
too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.
Что? А у меня такие штуки нету, кстати. Как по мне, вряд ли. Стойте, сохранимся. И летим в лодочный домик Таффингтона. Надеюсь, сейчас сюда меня не встретит мушка, которая бьет в спину. Но это, ребята, шутится. Я и так 2 раза уже чистил эта больница. Не верю, что там есть вообще кто-то. Так что это тупо прогулка. Ну, по крайней мере, на внешнем рейде нету враги. Ну, практически нету и сюда. Так, давайте выпьем. К сожалению, его обороняют этого. Постойте. Вим. Ну, как я уже сказал, все уже мертвые. Так, это не сюда, это не первый этаж. Где этот мощный магнит? Хорошо. Уже убирал отсюда. Это не нужно, но все равно возьму. Я же вам говорю, это тупо прогулка. Я вам это и говорил. Это тупо прогулка. Даже, думаю, можно и до поселения не ходить, оно на 2 шага отсюда. Пока. Построить электромагнитные приводы. Как? Отсюда? Да, отсюда.
Ingram?
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Это было легко.
And he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
We'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't operating at peak capacity.
Кажется, это уже нельзя
Shouldn't be a
делать.
problem. Just tell me where they are.
I wish I could. Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs. The same type of bombs that were dropped from aircraft during the Great War. The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's air force, so we assumed we wouldn't have trouble finding them. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't located a single bomb.
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully loaded nuke pack, Prime won't have the firepower to take on the Institute.
Can I build the nukes like I built the actuators?
I could build you 1,000 nuke casings, right now, but we've got nothing to put inside them. The Mark 28s have a specialized nuclear payload that requires the correct balance of fissile materials in order for them to detonate properly. In other words, I'd love to mix you a cocktail, but I'm all out of liquor. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining here. Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military installation, which was used as a nuclear weapons storage facility. We're fairly certain this included a stockpile of the Mark 28s. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
I'll head out there immediately.
Good, because that's exactly what we're asking you to do. Scribe Halen's established a communications point on the frontier of the glowing sea. I suggest you head out there first and establish a signal protocol with her so that the nukes can be airlifted out once
Это
you've
уже
located
будет
them.
завтра.
Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up and you can say hello. Good luck, Knight.
Heavy mist anticipated.
Така. Сохраняемся. И пойдем и пойдем в подвал в Sanctuary. Разгрузиться и все в том духе. Ну, а пока желаю всем удачи и всего хорошего.